yes, it's true. I've been dealing with quite a lot of young guys, and you find that the one thing that they don't do is you'll find that they don't spend a lot of time to get to know their spouse. And especially right now, feeling pressured that, okay, maybe if it is the lady, she wants to get married this year. If it is the man, he wants to get married this year. It's not an issue of time or a calendar event. Because some people, they say in my bucket list, I had written it was 2023. And so 2023, I have to get married. So you find that you put yourself under so much unnecessary pressure because you want to get married that year. The other thing that I see that is one of the big challenges that also young couples or those who are dating get themselves into is a challenge of where they don't share their expectations. And because you're not sharing your expectations, you're saying that he's a man, he should know, or she's a woman, she should know. You find that we come from very many different backgrounds. She did not grow up in your own house. She doesn't know how you like your ugali. And she also is not your sister. So she doesn't know how your mother used to prepare for your dad. And so sometimes you find that we are so naive to believe that because he's a man, he should know how to do some of these things. Or because she's a lady, she should know how to do some stuff. Do not take anything for granted. Lay and make sure that it is clear and very plain what your expectations are. I know many couples don't discuss. Ask the awkward questions. Ask what will happen if. What if? So many people don't consider the what if clause. That, okay, fine. What if she can't conceive? And that's why you find that it becomes very easy to divorce today because we are also looking at the social media. We are also getting pressure from the third parties, like we mentioned. One thing that has helped us as a couple is to know that we have one common enemy, and it's not your spouse. We have one common enemy, and he is the devil. The devil does not like a successful marriage. And so many young couples think it's her who is the problem, or it's him who is the problem. And so you now brand your husband or your wife as the problem, while the problem is the devil fighting you. And maybe one of you has allowed to be used of the devil to become violent, to become abusive, or to become, or to take advantage of the other person. And so for me, I think it's very important that we realize that in marriage, your common enemy is not your spouse. Your common enemy is the devil. So I believe that would help in helping more marriages stay. And the other thing is commitment. The young people right now, even you can see, I see that a lot even at work when I'm doing interviews, and you see that the person has only been out of college, maybe the last 3 years, but their CV is like a roadmap from Cairo to Durban. They have been through all the ports and all cities, and they are only been working for the last 3 years or 4 years. So you find that they don't have the patience or the resilience to be patient to see their spouse become a better person. And so any small red flag or any small warning, instead of them saying, hey, this is another dart the enemy is throwing to us and we need to work on it, they say this is another reason for me to be out. And so get into marriage to make it work. We got into marriage to make it work. I believe marriage works. And so get into marriage knowing that you make it work. Work it and make it glorious. Yeah, so I hope I understand.
Yeah, maybe I can just add on to where, when we get married or before we get married, we all have fallen in love. But what I can say and what I've learned in this journey of marriage, falling in love cannot sustain me, but I've learned to walk in love because walking in love is a journey. God is teaching me how to love and look at love according to 1 Corinthians 13. So if you fall in love, when you get into marriage, it's not about falling in love, it's about walking in love. Hari has talked about unmet expectations. I mean, sometimes you don't discuss the expectations, or you've discussed, and after you get married, things don't happen. So we also need to have realistic expectations, and others are unrealistic. And that's where couples really fight, because you've not met my expectations. And I keep on telling couples, for the years we've been married, even as we had our own expectations, and I tell them there are some expectations that Hari has not met, and we are still working on it. So that does not mean that I walk out because he has not met the expectations that we had put together, or I had put as a wife, because we have expectations for me as Caro, his own expectations, then our expectations as a couple. Along the way, expectations also change because of the growth, the changes that have come, children, career, all those things, they come. And so you find sometimes expectations, not sometimes, they do change. So let us walk in love in marriage. And also there's another issue is peer pressure. We get peer pressure from family, peer pressure from friends. You've reached to a certain age and all your friends are married. So you remain the only person. So there's so much pressure that comes from your family, people asking when is your date. Just the same pressure you get when you get married and you don't get a child. It happens even before you get married. There's so much pressure. So what happens? Whoever comes, you pick them because of desperation, marry them, only to realize that things are not good. So let's not also get married because of desperation. You have to be ready. And this is a very serious journey that God ordained. And so we need to respect it. We need to be willing to die to self and walk this journey knowing that it is, I'm getting married and I will purpose to make it work by God's grace. Yeah.
Thank you. All right.